situation, the escalating situation in Ukraine. Firstly, the Americans and the British giving permission for those Shadow missiles to be fired, long-range missiles into Ukraine. The situation there on tenterhooks, as it has been for months. Oleksiy Goncharenko is a Ukrainian MP, President of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe's Committee on Migration, Refugees and Displaced Persons. That's a mouthful. Oleksiy, how are you?
Hi. I am alive and kicking. That's the best what I can tell you.
British Storm Shadow missiles now fired into Russia for the first time. Putin's foreign ministry, thank you for the thumbs up, warning this is an escalation. The timing is interesting to me, Oleksiy, because Biden, about to leave office, suddenly gives permission. The English, of course, follow suit. Donald Trump, who's on the way to the White House, says he is going to sort this out as soon as possible. I want to put something to you because I know you'll give an honest appraisal. I'm fervently behind supporting Ukraine. I completely understand that if it's not your war, it's Europe's war. That's me personally. Absolutely. What would you say to the people, reasonably, who in countries across Europe are getting war fatigue, who are saying, we have many, many, many issues in our countries, be they pensioners, the unemployed, businesses, whatever. You know what I'm saying. What would you say to those people who are starting to say, we're questioning the money? What would you say to them, Oleksiy?
I would tell them it's better to have a lot of issues in your country than a lot of Russians in your country. And you will have a lot of Russians in your country if you will not stop them now. That's so easy.
Do you believe that Ukraine, with the help from Europe and America, certainly these latest Storm Shadow missiles, do you think that you have, and I know it's important that your troops are fighting and it's important that you believe, do you believe that you can defeat Putin, or do you fear now that with Trump in the White House you are going to have to concede land to the Russians?
First of all, I think we already defeated Russians. Putin wanted not part of Ukraine, he wanted the whole Ukraine as the base for a future and next aggression and expansion. He already failed. He didn't take Kyiv, no other big cities of Ukraine. Yes, he managed to get 10% more Ukrainian territory with the cost of hundreds of thousands of Russians, with a completely destroyed perspective from the point of view of technologies, access to them, and so on. I don't think this is a victory of Putin. So, again, I can't tell you that that's the victory of Ukraine, how I would like to see it completely. I would like to see complete disaster of Russian forces in Ukraine and them running out of my country. But it's definitely not success he was looking for. So for the moment, Ukrainians are holding, Ukrainians continues to fight. If somebody would tell Putin of this 1,000 days ago, he would never believe. And
I agree with that. I was just wondering whether there is any feeling in Ukraine amongst its people after 3 years, 1,000 days tomorrow, that we've put up a really good fight, but an acknowledgement almost, this is what I guess I'm asking you, that they might well have to concede ground to land to Putin. Is that...
What do you mean? What do you mean concede?
You said no. This is what I mean.
We will never accept that our territories are Russian, and it's not about Ukraine. It's about international law and international order. But can we reclaim these territories by military force without support of our allies? Not today. That's what I can tell you. But I want to remind you, the world never accepted, for example, the fact that Baltic states were annexed by Soviet Union. Never ever the Western world accepted that Baltic states are part of Russia. But then they restored their independence and they restored their relationship with them. So I don't know when complete and full restoration of Ukrainian territorial integrity will happen, but I am sure that it will happen one day.
What do you make of the Donald Trump suggestion that he will sort this out in a matter of days? What do Ukrainians think about that?
I think he can do this, and I hope he will do this. Ukrainians, we want this war to end more than anybody else in the world, because we are suffering from it every day. We are dying every day. So if Trump will succeed in this, I think he deserves Nobel Peace Prize, and monuments in my country.
But people say that the only way that
fingers crossed.
But people say that the only way that Donald Trump would be able, this is my point, to succeed in peace and ending the war is by both sides giving something to each other. So my question before, when you went never, in their desire to finish a war that you just said has cost thousands of lives and has gone on for 3 years and has decimated your country, do you believe that the Ukrainian leadership or its people would concede certain things to Russia in return for peace?
I can just reply. I can just once again say what I already said to you. We will never accept that these territories are Russian. But when we will reclaim them and how, that's another question. And I think it can be discussed with Donald Trump, with our allies, with our partners. The best option for us is just to kick out Russians from our country, and that's possible. And we don't know how Trump will end. Because, I mean, he is predictable in the way that he is completely unpredictable. So maybe he
What
will...
a great line. That is...
Yeah, but in some moment he can decide to go just to give Ukrainians everything we need to kick Russia out. It's not so difficult. Russia was bluffing again now, saying, oh, if there will be permission for Ukraine to use American, British, French missiles on Russian territory, there would be disaster. We're changing our nuclear doctrine. And just hours ago, Storm Shadows attacked the Russian military object and completely destroyed it on Russian territory. And yesterday night, attackers, American missiles, destroyed big Russian military objects inside Russia. And what? All these red lines from Putin are in reality brown lines, you know, because he can bluff, he can try to show him very, very strong. He's not.
Somebody said to me earlier, and I'll let you finish by answering this. In fact, a man got very angry with me on the phone. He phoned up and he said that the West believes that Vladimir Putin is a dangerous man. No, it's not. He'd never go beyond Ukraine. He's just reclaiming, hear me out, don't shoot the messenger. He's just reclaiming the USSR, and that we as a country and Europe in general shouldn't be backing a country who has no right to this. And I basically, do you know what I said to him? I said, people like you do my head in. Why don't you go and live in Moscow and cut him off? What would you say to him?
I think your answer was great. One more I would add is that if he says Putin is just taking what USSR controls, so in this case, Germany should be prepared. Let us cut Germany into pieces and give one of them to Russia. Just 35 years ago, Poland, Romania, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Baltic states, name me, and half of Germany were under Russian control. So you want these to be back?
Listen, Oleksiy, you'll know I agree. I said from the beginning, and I will always say, I say it to hear Ruddick as well, I support the Ukrainian cause 1,000,000%, and I appreciate you greatly being on the show today. Oleksiy Goncharenko, Ukrainian MP.